Hello there, and welcome to a brand new year, 2018. A lot of good things happened in 2017, Mayor, that we're really excited about. Amazon and
Absolutely. First I'd like to say Happy New Year, Dennis, to the community and to our employees. We did get a lot done in 2017, and we're blessed with another 4 years to get good work done in our community. So, we're looking forward today to talk about something that you've probably heard a little bit about from going back to 2017, really giving our employees and our citizens the best of the best as far as equipment and technology. So looking forward to today's show.
Yeah, we have Captain Josh Monty with us today, and he's the one kind of spearheaded this movement, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Tell us a little bit about how this got going.
Well, the mayor started the initiative with this body camera program, and it was handed off to me. And it was actually rather a lengthy process getting this whole thing up and running. The most important part of this whole program is, in fact, policy, making sure your body camera program actually has integrity, and that means a transparent policy. It means protecting the rights of our citizens, protecting officers, and then we began moving into the testing and evaluation phase, which was a committee set up of officers of different ranks, frontline officers who worked the patrol division, who were utilizing different styles of cameras, different vendors, different companies, and as a committee, we came up with this camera that you see before me. It's compact, it's wireless, it's hands-free. It's when the overhead lights come on, the officer doesn't even have to worry about turning this camera on. It's integrated as well with the dashboard cameras that are on our patrol cars. So we felt like as a department that this camera here would meet the needs of the Romulus Police Department.
And Captain Monty, he hit on a big part of it. Technology is great, right, but it's the human side. So we wanted to make sure that we had policies and training in place, because this tool is just as important for the employee as the resident, and making sure that we pick the right equipment, but also have our systems in place so that it actually does bring value to both sides. So I think that's key.
Correct, and we've seen it just in the evaluation process diffuse situations. Okay. We've seen people that our officers have come in contact with, just the simple fact that they're being recorded.
Absolutely.
They have checked their behavior.
So recently we went over to the police station, and Captain Monty showed us a little bit about the system, asked some questions about citizens' rights and the rest of it. So watch this.
Our uniform officers are all wearing body cameras now.
Okay.
The camera is integrated with our dashboard cameras. It's also integrated with the overhead lights of our patrol cars. So when an officer effects a traffic stop, the body camera automatically will turn on along with the dashboard camera. So the officer can utilize this camera hands-free when in a situation like a traffic stop, for example.
Okay.
Those overheads are on.
Okay. Now, will this be a live feed back to the police station, or is it recorded somehow?
No, it is recorded. In here is a 8 gig hard drive. It holds 8 gig of video, which it's quite a bit. It can be a couple days of video. At the end of the officer's shift, the officers will come back into the station at the end of their shift. They'll plug this in into our network, and the video will be uploaded to a server that we actually house here at the police department.
So basically, the whole premise behind this is for not only the safety of the citizen, but the safety of the police officer and his ability to do his or her job. Correct?
Correct. It's for the officer's protection of the citizens, collecting evidence, documenting activity, providing training aids, and it's also to facilitate investigations and to document evidence during investigations.
So if you got to go to court, is this admissible in court?
It is, yes.
So the prosecuting attorney would put this up on the screen and show the whole stop or arrest or whatever it is.
Yep, they will.
Probably mainly for an arrest, I would imagine.
Yes, they will. And there is when we initially rolled this out, there's some privacy concerns that we all had, and I'm sure residents have, about where these cameras go, what is actually being recorded, and we've developed policy policy to address some of those concerns. In fact, the state legislature enacted, it's called Act 85 of 2017, which legislated a lot of those policy concerns. So, for example, if I go into your house on a police run and your neighbor wants to find out why the police were at your house, there is a heightened expectation of privacy inside a private residence.
Right,
so
right.
if your neighbor was to FOIA that video for the purpose of finding out what's actually going inside your house, we would deny that FOIA. That FOIA would not be allowed. And that was
Okay.
something the legislature took up last year and addressed.
Okay. So this doesn't, like you just said before, this doesn't stay on. It's activated by your lights, and that also activates the dash cam, right?
Correct. In the hands-free mode, it's integrated with our dashboard camera, so when the officer hits the lights will go on. For example, if an officer is going to a police run, they will have to manually, or a call for service, they'll have to manually activate it
Okay.
if the overheads are not on.
Okay.
And there's certain situations where the officer can choose to deactivate the camera. Situation where you have a crime victim, that crime victim is protected. There's certain crime victim rights. The officer can turn that body camera off, but the officer also has to document in a police report why that camera is turned off. And
Right.
that's just something to help us maintain the integrity of the entire body camera program that we have. Just kind of saying why this camera was turned off at this point in time, and that interaction with that victim is something else that's protected by privacy laws. You know, you cannot FOIA that victim statement.
I think a lot of people will probably think that this is active all the time, that we don't want to know what the officer's eating at lunch unless he wants to put it on Facebook or something.
Correct.
Like that.
There's quite a few situations where the officer's not required because of the officer's privacy,
Right.
you know, to activate this camera as well. If they're inside a business, for example, they don't have to activate the camera. If they walk in and talk to into a business and talk to the business owner, or go to a residence, they don't have to activate that camera. And if they do activate it, they are mandated by our policy to tell the owner of the house or whoever's in the house,
Right.
hey, I have a body camera on, it is activated.
It is
just so you
active.
know.
It's just
And
like-
that person can request to have the video shut off, and the officer
Okay.
can comply with that request,
Okay. Does he have to reply with it for that, depending upon the situation?
depending
right?
upon the situation. Yes. Yep. I mean, it's just a tool to help us communicate better, I guess, with residents. You know, it's human nature to act differently when you know you're on camera.
Right.
And research has shown use of force incidences have greatly decreased, citizen complaints have decreased, and we've actually realized that here at the Romulus Police Department, where we've seen a lot more positive police-citizen interactions as well. So it's so far, with this system, and it is brand new, we're still working out some of the kinks.
Right.
It has been a positive experience for us and for our officers, and our officers really welcome this as well. They were looking forward to getting this body camera program going, because ultimately it protects them from any sort of accusation at all.
So it can't be used like a hidden cam, like a 60 Minutes thing, or a news person would, go in and have a camera hidden on
Correct.
them.
No,
It's got to be in the public view, right?
Exactly, and we want everybody to know that we're recording, we're
Right.
capturing evidence,
Right.
with everything that we do.
So right after we got done with the body camera demonstration, we walked into the dispatch room. There was a lot of people that felt that the answering process, where everybody gets irritated if you stay on the phone more than 10 seconds, you can say, well, when are we going to get to the right button? So in order to get a hold of the dispatcher right away, we put that first because we felt that was more important, right?
Correct.
So for the non-emergency number now, it just makes it easier to get a hold of a person and get help and so forth. So that's important,
Yep.
That 10 seconds to somebody, it seems like an hour
Yep.
when it's your loved one that's in need. So we want to make sure we're providing the best customer service to our residents, also giving our employees as much critical information as we can up front so they can do a better job.
Correct. And, it's kind of important that also when you call that number, 941-8400, I believe it is, that you'll also get the other prompts, too, that you had before.
Correct.
So you can go to the records department, the detectives,
Correct.
and that sort of thing. And really interesting part about it was having your young lady, your dispatcher there, explain to us about the process of getting in touch with their cars and where they are, and this is going to be very interesting when you see that screen. It blew my mind, I know that.
Right. You're right. The bottom line is when you have to call 911, it's not a good day already.
Yeah.
So, it's a dispatcher's job to interpret what's going on, and that way we can provide the best services to our residents.
911, it was interesting because when I do some job shadow, when I spent time in that dispatch office, it's a tough job because they're trying to take that information down, get all the facts so that they can pass on, and then also what I've had the benefit of hearing on the other side, what comes across the radio, the folks in the field, they're counting on good, credible information so they can also serve our residents quicker, better, faster, and get them the help they need.
And you'll see in this video that we're about to show you is that our dispatcher knows where everybody is, including the fire department, which
Yes,
I
correct.
thought was kind of interesting.
Yep.
So let's take a look at that. Let's talk about what it's like to be a dispatcher for the city of Romulus. Pretty busy?
At times, sure.
And, do you always work a day shift, or do you
I
have
do,
do you?
yes. Sometimes we have to work overtime, which would either be 4 hours before our shift or 4 hours after.
Okay, so I was just talking to Captain Monty, and he said you handle your own 911 calls. They don't go through a center,
Right.
correct? And so what is pretty typical on a day like today?
Usually on day shift, it's the 911 call will come in consistently, but calls tend to pick up after the middle of the day.
Mhm.
So usually around 10 o'clock a.m. and thereafter it's a little bit more busy.
So give me a typical call coming in. You'll answer.
911 that's a 911 call coming in right now.
Okay.
And that's a regular business line, which we're at. Romulus Police,
What's going on here today, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, do you know where your cars are at all times?
This is our lab right here.
So that.
These are all the units that are.
Oh, I see. They're different colors. You got a purple and you got a yellow. So
Yep, like this one, 203.
yeah.
He's on actually it was a hospice death on Cherry.
Oh,
So
okay.
he's here at the station collecting his paperwork. This is one of our traffic units.
Uh-huh.
He's not on a traffic stop or any run right now, that's why
Right.
it's yellow. There's another traffic unit, same thing. Here's one of our, this is actually fire engine 4.
Oh, okay.
They cleared an incident, or, oh no, they're on their way to this. They're on their way to this rescue that just came in. Rescue 2 is down there at Station 4, right here.
Right.
And these two units right here are on a civil dispute.
Okay.
So, yeah, Jerry just put in the information on that 17-year-old having a seizure. That's what is yellow.
Uh-huh.
That means that somebody else put the information in and I haven't clicked on it yet to view it.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what that is. And there's the information that he just got from that 911 call.
All right. Now you've got an officer, say, on a traffic stop, and all of a sudden you have an emergency in that area. Does he pull away from that traffic stop?
If need be, if we don't have any other officers available,
Okay.
what I like to do is say Romulus does sell Romulus units.
Right.
And then I'll put it out there and usually somebody will respond. And if it's not anything that's pressing that any of the officers are on, traffic stop or anything else, they'll advise us that they're clear.
Have a great day.
It's not like the old black and white movies where they say, calling all cars,
No.
calling all cars. Be on the lookout for.
Well, we can say be on the lookout for something,
Okay.
but we don't say calling all cars.
So you got everybody kind of pinpointed, which is kind of interesting because I think the average citizen, they usually wonder, where the police are. Now, do they also like patrol the neighborhood or?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, when they're not being sent to calls that we get coming in,
So 5 to
they
10 minutes for
patrol
Raymond's.
the
Subdivisions and
different
things like that?
subdivisions. They go to different businesses and do business checks.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes people, when they go on vacation, will do a residential check, so we'll check people's homes, make sure everything's secure there. Liquor license, things we'll check over
Right.
hotels and various businesses and stuff like that.
there'll be times when you'll have to prioritize the calls. Is that just, you just go by experience, or is there kind of a protocol for that?
Well, there in the screen over here, there's right here, see where it says PRI,
Right,
where it says number 1, that's
Right.
the highest.
okay.
So typically you learn from experience which are the more prioritized calls, like obviously a rescue or a fire, injury accident, something in progress, domestic, something like that, assault, that is top priority, you go there first. So the numbers, I think, go from 1 to 4, I think it is. So 4 typically is the lowest priority. Sometimes it's not accurate. Like if we put in a certain run, sometimes it's more heightened than just what a larceny would be.
Okay.
You know, so we just kind of base it on what the caller's telling us. Yeah, this just happened. They just stole something from my car. It's in progress. So if we put it, sometimes you can't put it in as in progress, so the priority doesn't show up. We have to tell the officers.
Yeah,
it's in
so that's
progress.
where
So
you
it's-
come in, you make the call as to where that officer goes.
Right. Just for the 911 in general, a lot of people are using it as like an information tool instead
Right.
of using it for emergencies. It's important that when you call 911 to just use it as an emergency and not call to ask for a phone number, or a lot of times when people give their kids their old phones, and even though the phone isn't in service, if there's still a battery in it, they can still dial 911. So a lot of 911 calls that we come in aren't emergencies, so sometimes that causes a conflict in here.
So is there any other way of getting through other than 911 and your landline?
We actually have 911 texting as well.
Okay.
You can text 911 and it will come to Romulus. We've had a couple of them, not too many. I don't think the general public is very aware of that.
Okay.
I think it's been by accident that people have done it, because we will get it to come in here, and it's a different sound that comes through on the monitors, and we answer back. If we don't get a response back, the phone number that shows up, we try calling.
Okay.
And sometimes they answer, sometimes they don't. I've never had anyone have a legitimate emergency. It's been done in error. But we try to verify and make sure, because, I mean, I think it's a great tool. At first we were kind of hesitant, like, oh geez, people are going to play with this and not
Right,
being it
right.
serious. But I think it really is a good tool if you're in a
Right.
bad situation and you can't talk and you do have your cell phone, which people always have their phones on them now.
Mm-hmm.
If you can text and say, there's somebody in my house, this is my address, I
Right,
think that's phenomenal.
right.
I think it's a great tool.
When you're using a cell phone, we were talking with Captain Monty about this, using a cell phone, you can't pinpoint where the person is.
Right.
You have to go by the nearest cell tower,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
And then you have to determine as to, which venue is going to handle that, right?
Right, right. And we hope that wherever the person is calling us from knows where they are, at least can give us a landmark
Right.
where they are if they do their last known location. Sometimes you just don't know where you are. If you get into a car accident, you spin around. Well,
Right.
I was going eastbound. Well, I don't know which direction I'm
Now
going
which
in
direction
now,
I'm
but
going in, yeah.
At least know that I was on 94 and I was at one point traveling this direction, and I
Right.
know I saw middle belt behind me. So
Yeah,
it helps when people know where they're at,
Okay.
at least a general vicinity, because
Yeah.
we can't see it. This is where it comes up, and it'll show in the address line just the cell tower. That's it. If people call from their home, from their landline phone, then usually an address will come up. A lot of people, they think it's like television, they'll say, well, you know where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
No,
no.
And I get upset when we have to ask the questions, but we have to ask the
Yeah.
questions so we know where you're at. So.
I tried to dial 941 once and hit 911 by mistake, and they come on and, what's your emergency? I'm sorry, I didn't mean
Right.
to do that.
Yeah.
The policeman showed up anyway.
Oh,
Is that-
yeah. We have done that, absolutely, because we don't know if it's, okay, are you saying this because you have to say it like that?
Yeah.
Is there somebody there and you're,
Yeah.
trying to give
Or
us
they
a clue?
grab the phone and say, no, this is a mistake, and hang up, right?
Right. Right, and if we can see an address, and people do that, especially if it's a child, or if you can just, when you've been doing it for any amount of time, you tend to pick up on how people's voices sound. And if it sounds heightened, use your instincts, and we do. And, we've been very fortunate that, if there is something going on, we can try to catch it. We can see what's going on and hopefully help whoever it is that dialed it. 'Cause, I've even had phone calls on 911 where people couldn't talk, and I've said, if you can hear me, press the button once, and she did. Can you talk? She pressed it twice for no. So it's good to be able to communicate and stay on the phone and be patient with us
Right.
because we need the information so we
Right,
can help.
right.
So.
So that's our first Mayor's Corner of 2018. Mayor, we're looking forward to a very good year.
Absolutely. We've got a lot more to come, so this is just kind of the start of better tools, better resources to serve our public. So I want to thank Captain Monte and the department, police and fire that gave input on this, went through a long process. End result, we've got a great new technology to better serve our community. So thank you to the police department and emergency services, and thank you, Dennis, for highlighting these new technologies.
It was my pleasure. So that's our first show of the year. So we'll see you next month with our second show.